Hey, hey everyone, it's me. I'm back. Can you believe it? It's been a long time. It's been 2 weeks since I've done a live stream, which is kind of crazy because I hadn't missed one in a while. I hope you all managed to have a Friday morning without me. If you don't know, I had to cancel last two live streams because I was in LA for the Lightbox Expo and Adobe Max. It was a lot of fun. I did a gigantic 30-foot mural for the Lightbox Expo that was like right when you first walk in. Tuesday's video is all about that. So Tuesday morning, check that out. Unless you're a patron, then you got early access. You can already watch it. Is this screen in the way? I got so much cool stuff at Lightbox and Adobe Max from there's lots of amazing artists booths. I got to see some friends, including my friends at Little Friends of Printmaking that have this adorable little vinyl record cat. He has a little record that you can take out, and there's different stickers for it. It's so cute. And then I met Chris Lee, who does lots of really cool 3D stuff. This is Carl, and it's super rad. And I gotta say, it got me really hyped on wanting to make a 3D thing, some sort of character. I just don't know what to do. I was like looking through my drawings last night, and it's very hard to decide what I would even do or how it would translate. If you have suggestions, please leave them in the chat because I would love to know what you think. Because I want to make something. I just feel like it would be really fun. Maybe the cloud guy. He's like I got a cloud head. I kind of like that. There's obviously Buttman, but like every now and then someone leaves a comment saying something about it, like they're referencing something that exists already, and I don't know if there's like another character that is like Buttman that I don't know about. So I want to make sure that I'm not accidentally copying that. But anyway, we're gonna draw names on this live stream like I do every Friday lately. Sometimes I switch it up, but not in a while. The way it works to keep things as fair as possible, I do it first come, first serve, based on when I go live, not when the live gets scheduled. So at 10:30 when I go live, that's when I start picking names. There is the ability to jump the line with a super chat of $20 and up if you want to do that. Otherwise, I start at the top. My handy dandy support system, Matt in the chat. That would be funny if it was Matt in the chat. It's just Matt Ballwork. But his name's blue and there's a wrench next to it. He's gathering stuff, especially questions too, putting them in a document so that I can look at them when I lift my head up from drawing. Just a couple quick announcements. As always, we've got a promo code for my shop live. You get a discount if you're a patron or a YouTube member. You get a better discount, so use that discount. We still got some of these hats. The black ones are sold out. I'm probably gonna do some more. But we do have the gray ones still, which are lovely hats. And these are almost sold out, but there are still some. Like there's a few of the bigger sizes, and then there's like some larges and extra larges, but they're almost gone. So if you want one of these, now's your chance. Um, how do I get back? I also have a very noisy machine in my office that's gonna need to move, but it's for an upcoming video that's kind of exciting. More to come about that. I'll probably tell my patrons about it soon. Speaking of patrons, let me just shout them out real quick. Couldn't do it without you all. All of the official Piascik tier and above get their name drawn and included in all the videos I make while they are active members. I apologize to some of the newer ones who weren't in Tuesday's video because I was behind from travel, but this is the updated graphic. I believe I need to check it. Patreon doesn't make it easy to check, but there's that. I think that's all I want to say. there was a question on Discord that I just wanted to answer here. I also want to, I've said this a million times. I just want to formally apologize again that I'm not on Discord as much as I'd like to be. It's very hard. I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And, I try to be on there, but I'm bad at it, and I'm sorry. Anyway, Kyborg asked, in my video from last week, or this week, where I made the one-page zine, he noticed that I was using an Epson WF7840. So that's my printer, and he is saying is is that your go-to printer for art when printing at home? So I have a little bit of a complicated answer. So before that printer, which was up until right when I was making that video, I had the Epson XP 15000. It's a smaller printer that also does 13 by 19, and it was fantastic, and I had it for many, many years. What I liked about it was that it had 6 ink cartridges, and it used, like, the archival, Durabright ink, and the image quality was incredible. However, I think it just, I had it for many years, and I don't print that often, so sometimes it sits for a period of time. That's not great for inkjets, and I think it finally died, and I couldn't make it work. So because I already started that video and printed half of them on that, I needed another printer quickly, and the Epson WF740 was available overnighted on Amazon, and I've been very happy with Epson printers forever. I like kind of swear by them. I tried Canons in the past, and Epson just I feel like is better. So what I would say is the image quality is just as good as the 15,000 that I had. However, it seems to go through ink a lot faster. It only has 4 ink cartridges. Um, so there's that. That's my answer. Also, it seems like Epson's switching to like the fillable ink things now, which is probably better for whatever. But if you can find an 15,000 Epson, you should grab one because they're great. Okay. And then Rewind and Design said you would love one of those Skull Dudes or Garfield style. That's figures. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna make characters that already exist, but like maybe a Skull Dude. I don't know. Let me switch over to my iPad and start drawing. I've already rambled quite a bit. Let's get this show on the road. Shout out to the newest super official official Piascik on Patreon, Cynthia Lorenz. You're the best. So I don't know why I zoomed out like crazy. The first name on the list. I know how some people call me like a shill for Adobe, specifically Fresco. And I do like Fresco a lot, and I use it for everything, and I think it's a fantastic app. However, I don't love this new brush sorting menu, and I made that very clear at Adobe Max. Like, I get it, they're trying to simplify things, because people complain that the UI is too complicated compared to Procreate, but I don't know. There's some issues with this. Like, I feel like I'm struggling to find what I need, but maybe I just have to get used to it. First name on the list is too hard for me to pronounce this early. Ganiyaha? Gonyaha? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever I did to your name there. Okay. Do I even remember how to do this anymore? It's been a long time. Oh, let me turn on some music. Let me turn on some music in the background, even though I don't have headphones on. Hopefully there's not going to be any echo. If there's echo, let me know in the chat. I don't know what I did with my headphones when I unpacked. Okay. Because there's a G and a Y, it kind of makes me want to play around with like swashy script stuff. Let's see if we can do anything with that. And Y. And then it's a little tricky over here with it. Aha! Aha! See, then we got this awkward space here that I don't love. Let's see what else. What if it was like a G like this, and then we had like the O inside. We could connect those. It could be kind of fun. Oh, and then the Y could come down below. Mildly interesting. Let's see if there's something in here. I'm sketching too big. What am I doing? These are rookie moves. That's why I have to zoom out so far. Matt says he doesn't hear the music. Oh, you know why? Because the spooky music from Halloween was too loud, so I had to bring the sound volume down. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully it's not too loud. All right. We got too many layers going on already. Oh, I don't like those dueling loops, I don't think. I guess we don't need a loop. We could just do it like that, maybe. We got to get warmed up. I'm not warmed up yet. Oh, I kind of like those like double swashamaggies. Gonyaaha. Let's see if we can do something with this. Rewind and Design, you said they've done a new library with Procreate 2, and having both Fresco and Procreate do it at the same time has scrambled my brain. Yeah, I hear the new brush library and brush tools in Procreate are great, mainly because they were done by Kyle Webster, who formerly worked on Fresco and made a ton of brushes for Fresco. So that's good. I got to spend some time with Kyle at Lightbox. It was nice to see. We've been friends for a long time, and he is a very nice guy. It's always nice to see him. Annie Lott, you said, what size should the iPad be? I think that is a personal choice. I have the 13, and I like the bigger size, but some people, such as my lovely wife Shayna, who's also an illustrator, uses the 11-inch iPad Air, and that works better for her. I think the iPad is so good in terms of its like intuitive gestures and touch controls that zooming in and out and moving the canvas, it feels much larger than it is. It never feels like really small. for example, like if you had a Cintiq that was a 13-inch, which I have had in the past, it feels borderline useless. It feels so small and so hard to use. Whereas when I'm using my 24-inch Cintiq, I barely even use it anymore because I just prefer working on the iPad, and you would think that maybe that bigger size would make it better, but you know, you're really only drawing in a limited area. So as long as you can quickly see the full composition, zoom in and out easy, and like rotate it, whatever size, like even drawing on I have an iPad mini, even drawing on that is totally fine for me. Geez, a little weird, but I kind of like it. I like this. I think this is fun. Let me tighten it up. Maybe we'll do it with the vector. I'll use my gritty vector, VV Sharpie. Matt Crane, you said, would you ever do a tutorial on editing YouTube videos? I really enjoy your edits and would like to see how the sausage is made. Maybe. I feel like I would be a little self-conscious because like I'm not much of an editor. And I think, I don't know, I sort of have fun. I'm very disorganized when I edit. Like, it takes me way longer than it should because I will just go down a rabbit hole putting in some like dumb stuff in the video or like making a dumb joke and spend like an hour doing something that'll be like a second of the video. But it's fun. But I will consider it. It is different like every time. Like sometimes I'll just like do something and like film it all, and then other times I'm like try to be organized and like plan it all out, which I did for Tuesday's video coming out about the mural, because I was like doing it mostly after the fact, but it didn't make it as easy as I thought it was going to be, because I kept thinking of things to like add, and then I had to like refilm stuff. And it was like over 2 days, and then I was like trying to make it look like it was the same day. That's some sausage stuff. Illustrating, you said, any thoughts on Affinity? I want to try to play it around with it. I'm just like, it's hard for me to make time to do stuff like that. I'm not like a big software person. Like I don't care so much. Like I think it's cool that they made it free and it does everything. But like, if like what I'm using does exactly what I want it to do and like works perfectly for me, it's so hard to like I'm more into making stuff than I am about like I don't care. I think I said that before. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it in a way that makes sense. Like I care for other people, and you know, I guess that's good content, but I'm a little bit selfish, I guess, in terms of like when I sort of make videos around stuff that I want to make or something. And also as someone with ADHD, it's very hard for me to like focus and like learn something new like that if I'm not like really into it. So there's that. All right. Ganyaha, if I said that right. I hope you like it. I think this was a fun, interesting one. Actually, I'm realizing that everything else has got nice sharp points except for these two things, so I'm gonna just fix that real quick. Cool. All right, next up on the list. See, this is my issue with the brushes. Like, I like to quickly go back to my sketch brush, and I guess you can put favorites in each, but then if I sort it, then it's not like that. So, I don't know. And then it's like, what am I doing here? Next is Luna Woods, and it's a birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Luna. All right, let's see. Ooh, it makes the O's into a face. All right. Also, Luna's like a moon. I wonder if I could like make it look like a moon. I don't know. Might be tricky. Because then I could start to look like a C. Oops. Forgot to make a new layer. Okay. Maybe it's more playful, cutesy. Am I doing script again? I don't know if I necessarily want to do script again. Over. Do kind of like the angle, and it would sort of work with the W situation. But what about the other letters? That's the real question. Rewind to design. You said, as an illustrator who is struggling to find their unique style, would you suggest I go for it and put things into sections, or wait until a style develops before creating a website? Oh, so you're talking about like your portfolio. I think I used to teach a class that was like students about to graduate from art school, and it was like a promotion, like business class, and like they were working on their websites and stuff in that class. And one of the things that I found I was constantly getting them to not do was like breaking up their portfolio into lots of different sections, especially because there wasn't a ton of work. So it just became really annoying to like look through stuff. And I think one of the most important things is like making it quick and easy to see your work. Another thing would be like they would lead into it. Oh, also the sections too. There'd be like a thumbnail for each section, and then it just looked chaotic because it was just like 5 different sections, and all the work was like totally different. And I felt like if you just showed a whole bunch of work, that would be okay. So I think I answered that. I am having a hard time not doing these like I got these like little eyeballs in my head when I first wrote down Luna Woods, so I feel like I want to do something with it. I want to put like a face, like a smiley face or something, but I don't want it to be too distracting. Maybe if it's like all in a shape, it'll make the face a little better. Then I could just do a line. And then it would feel like it was just like closed in. I think that's the plan. Scotty Breeding, saw AFI on your top 100 art. That was cool. Yeah, I've been a fan of AFI for very, very long time. Since I had I think my AFI shirt was like an East Bay hardcore shirt, like when they were just like a punk band that like no one really knew about. So I took a little bit of that point out of the U, because even though it had a wide base, I felt like it was getting a little bit like a V. And when you're stylizing letter forms, that's like an important thing to do, is make sure that you are not inadvertently like making something that's unique about another letter part of that letter. I explain that in a dumb way, and I'm sorry, but like, when there are, like, for example, I'm doing these like kind of round playful letters, a D could easily end up looking like an O if you get too round. So, paying attention to having some sort of edge, even if it's a bit round, and doing the same with like the counter can help. So it's like, it's still pretty round, but in context, it reads as a D. So I'm planning to make the letters white on top of black, and I think that'll be cool too, because it'll sort of, it's a stretch, but I'm like thinking about it like the moon, like Luna, because letters will be white and like a black sky. I don't know. Listen. I don't know if I'm simplifying this out of shape too much, but we'll see. Sir Iramzart. Sir Shriamzart. Sir Iram's art. Who knows? Hey, me and my daughter, who is 10, love your work. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I just sat here saying your name in a ridiculous way, but there's all these words all pushed together into one. How am I supposed to know? But I really appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. I think that's super cool. Thank you so much. So to play up the eye thing, I'm gonna put like a little highlight thing, and then I don't think I just want to. Oh, maybe. I was worried that just having a white line would be weird, but I think that might be the solution. I don't think that's happy enough. That's pretty cute. No, that looks a little weird. right, I just want to make these letters just a little chunkier. I think when we lost the outline, they lost a little bit of their, I don't know, the weight. I just want to try one thing and see if it looks okay. I was thinking that maybe if we put a little subtle dot pattern, like it might look like almost like stars or something. I don't know. We'll see. I just want to give it a shot. Let's fill. That's too much, but get out of here, shape tool. Okay, so we don't usually we usually don't do color here, but I'm not ready to give up on this vision. That is not what I wanted. Beep boop boop boop. Hold on. I'm sorry. Bear with me. Let's come down here and just select the black, and then we can come over here and go to select, invert, and then erase. There you go. I feel like that's kind of a fun little, it's subtle, but it's just like a little texture, and I feel like it helps make the eyes pop. I don't know. Maybe either way, it's something. Okay. Happy birthday, Luna. Next up on the list is Matt Crane. Thanks, Matt. Rodrigo Corman. You said, have you done any neon with lettering? I mean, real neon. Would you like to? Earlier, you asked ideas to create something in 3D, maybe a little lettering with LED inside to emulate neon. I have a neon sign in my studio that hardly ever gets shown because it flickers in my video, and I can't figure out how to stop that. But that's the only thing I've done. But yeah, that's cool. But I just want to do a figure real bad. All right. I hope you don't hear all that noise from a giant machine that is in my office. Molly Pop Rocks, you said, any plans for more draw this with me step-by-step videos? Like, you can draw this skateboarding dust bunny. Let's do it. I love your videos and want to follow along. Yeah. Have I done a video like, I guess, yeah, I would do more of those. I guess I don't know. The short answer is yes. I think I need to watch more videos like that because I struggle with like how to even kind of do those videos. I'm trying to like play around with like angles and how these things fit together here. Oh wait, the E could go like that, and then spending all this time on the crane part, but then I gotta figure out how I'm going to get Matt to work with this. I'm just gonna like quickly write it up here, just to have some sort of like visual helper. I wonder if we could use that space. Sean Thompson, you said, thanks for making Friday morning nice and relaxed. Did you get the thing I sent to your P.O. box? Yeah, I sent you a message on Instagram, and then I sent you a ton of extra stuff in the order you sent, because you sent me, you know what? Hold on a second. You all need to see this, because this is wild, the thing that Sean sent me. Look at this friggin' thing. Look what he sent me. Look at this. Look at it. Look at this thing. Can you believe it? It's wild as heck. He made this. Who else is making me something? You're a superhero. Thank you. When I went to the post office, I didn't know anyone used my P.O. box because like I just got it to not put my address on packages. So it had been at the post office for a while, and I'm very sorry. And they were like, when I went up to pick it, they're like, oh, here. And it was just like sitting there, and they're like, and I was like, what is this huge box? Is it a bomb? What is coming on? So I appreciate that so much. All right, we're gonna have to do some like measurements and math on this one. David Cox, you said do Dottie Dog, Dottie your dog on a skateboard for the 3D figure. That's that would be cool. I was actually thinking about doing Dottie, but like as a I don't know about how the physics would work, but I was like imagining it as, because she's like she's half wiener dog, like a C or a U shape, but I don't know if it would stand up that way. But I thought that would be cool. All right, let's make some guides. We need Actually, you know what? Let's try a grid. Not press. Let's do this. Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll just get crazy with the vector. All right. That's too thin. Is that going to be too... Sometimes when I'm doing something like this, I'll like make an overall shape like this and then try to reuse it to keep things consistent. So I'm gonna see how that goes to maybe hopefully speed things up and not get confused. But then sometimes it gets too crazy. Let's duplicate this and then flip it so we can match our angles. And then I'm going to select half of it, erase that, and then we'll do the other half on this side. That's too far. They don't line up perfectly, but that's fine because we can clean that up afterwards. Okay, so let's duplicate that. Is that angle going to happen anywhere? No? You know what? This is too much. Let's delete that. We can't be crazy like this. We have to just get a move on. We got to just bang it out because we don't want it to be too perfect. We just want it to be kind of close. So we can use the guides to help us, but we don't need to be trapped by them. Because otherwise, we'll just be here forever. This could be one of the ones where like I do this tight grid situation, and then I have to use that as a starting point to like just make a looser version because it gets too crazy. But we'll see. So I'll just base that angle on like the diagonal of one of these squares-ish, so that it's like loosely the same. Matt Crane, you said you have bad ADHD. My biggest issue is that I rush and then I don't. And then down the line, I'm always correcting my line work or composition and tangents. Yeah, I get that, but I will just like hyper focus on the sketch, and sometimes I spend too much time just kind of like figuring stuff out. And then, you know, almost like I went down a rabbit hole in this one. Okay, so that line is the top. We could very easily get lost here, so I think I need to do some like trimming in a minute so that this doesn't get too crazy and confusing. Rob Russell, you said you always struggled with creative block and the ability to find a consistent style, always doing different styles to challenge myself, but never finding a great fit. Any suggestions? Honestly, I feel like it's like not a satisfying answer at all, but it really comes down to just like making lots of stuff and just like playing around. For me, like I did this daily drawing project for many years, and it was just like drawing something every day. And because of that challenge, it especially because I had given myself that like deadline, there was days where I was like tired or busy or sick, and like it takes you out of your head a little because you're like, oh, I just got to do something, and then you start to do stuff without thinking about it too much, and your style just sort of like shows itself to you, even though I think, but it's something that happens slowly. I think people want to just sort of decide what their style is, and I don't think it works that way, unfortunately. And some people don't. There are people who don't have a specific style. Like I was talking about Kyle Webster earlier. He doesn't have a specific style. He works in a lot of different styles. All right, let's trim some of this stuff off so we can have a loose idea if this is hot trash or not. Joe Fabricator, you said, is there a style name for your style of illustration? Not necessarily. I mean, I have like a sort of loose, but also sort of precise. So I don't know. I feel like my work is a bit unique to me, but it's influenced by a lot of things: design, cartoons. I don't think there's like one specific word to describe it. So I am discovering an issue here with this A. Like this part of the A is too wide because we can't do that that shape there. I think it's actually the R. The leg on the R needs to be trimmed a little bit. All right, let's fill in a couple of these so we can see what kind of mess we're dealing with. Ah! Whatever. We'll redraw that line. Okay, let's fill some. All right, those letters are looking cool. I guess this is one of the issues of like the loose sketch when you're trying to be precise, because the letters are like different sizes here than the original sketch, because it was very rough. That's too wide. I need to turn my sketch down. That's what we need to do. Can't see what I'm doing. Is that not my sketch? Oh, we're on the graph setting. Am I talking to myself? There we go. Felt like we were going pretty quickly at the beginning, and then I just started getting complicated over here. This must be hard to look at for a lot of you, because I can barely tell what I'm doing. What am I looking at? Are we going to dig out of this hole? That's the real question. Honestly, I gotta ignore vector trimming for a second and just manually erase some of this stuff, because I'm getting confused. Molly Pop Rocks, you said, what are the brush settings for smoothing you're using, also for sketching? So when I am sketching, I don't want any smoothing, so I can draw really quickly. But when I'm doing final line work, I don't mind if there's like a little bit of a delay. So the way smoothing works in Fresco is it like cleans up while you're drawing. So if you turn it to 100%, you'll see like a little bit of a lag, and that doesn't bother me, because it's like I've already sketched it out and I'm just doing the line work, and it just makes me more efficient. But you can adjust it how you want. But I usually just, in the middle of that submenu, you've got smoothing. I really like how Fresco has it as its own thing. When I used to work in Procreate, it was called Streamline, and it was a brush setting specific to the brush. So I would have like multiples of the same brush. I'd have like one that was like full smoothing, one that was no smoothing, one was like 50% smoothing. And it got a little bit annoying and confusing. Whereas here, I can just like on the fly toggle what smoothing level I want. Because sometimes I'll be doing something where I want smooth for like a curve. Like, for example, what if I was drawing a fluffy cloud that had lightning coming out of it? I would want smooth lines for the fluffy clouds, but then I would want to be able to draw quick, sharp movements for the lightning. So I could just toggle the smoothing back down. All right, we're getting there. Thank you for believing in me. If you did. You may have not believed in me. You're like, what is he even doing? Maybe that's what you're thinking. And that's okay too. Matt Crane, you said, I like that you like Mercenary Devils. I thought you'd be into those San Diego bands like Hot Snakes or Rocket from the Crypt. I don't really know anything by Rocket from the Crypt. I think there's a couple Hot Snake songs that I like, but Murder City Devils are one of my favorite bands ever. Definitely one of the best live shows that I've been to. I don't love this situation right here. We're gonna have to do something about that. But we're getting there. Oops. Okay, let's see what we can do to fix that. Bear with me. I'm just about there. So close. I can feel it. All right. There you go, Matt Crane. I hope you like it. Thought we weren't going to make it, but we pulled through. Ugh. Stupid brush menu. Okay. Next up on the list is short. Cut. To cut, but with a like a very extreme, like a big X cut. I feel like the X is important, but like I don't know what we do. So you can't put it in the middle because it's not in the middle of the word. Gotta be something that I can do with this. Why are we getting mathy again? I don't want to be mathy. I'm trying to figure out how to like make the first part of the word shorter to balance it. I wonder if it was like stacked or something. But then the X on its own. This is a tricky one. Amy RL, you said, what's your process of going through all the Stinktober entries? Oh, I forgot to even mention that. So today is the deadline for submissions for Stinktober. So if you wanted to enter the contest and you haven't yet, you can upload by the end of the today. There are so many, and I need to go through all of them and then pick my favorites to be winners. That's the process. I wonder if we can figure out a shortcut here. Oh, what if we just like start making little SH and then the O, and then like what if the R comes down here, and then it's like this into this, and then like the T that lines up, and then we pull this big X in the middle. The X is tricky because the U's got to fit in there. I wonder if we can do an X that that's like a block, or we just like trim out pieces of it. I think there's something cool with this. Let's see. Let's lower the opacity. I'm gonna grab a rectangle. Like a starting point for this X. Oops, I forgot to make a new layer. Let's use symmetry to speed this up. Nimix Wolf, you said, have you ever worked with graffiti in the past? Not really. I did some stuff with like paint markers, but I don't really know how to use spray paint in an effective way without like stenciling. I think in art school it may have done some mild like wheat pasting poster stuff, but I never did too much graffiti stuff. Matt Crane, you said, have you tried animating using the new Adobe movement tool? It's really fun. I think the pose tool. If so, then yes, it is very fun. I think I did a little bit in my video about it, but I used it in a. I was working on. Oh yeah. I had the Stinktober. And I think in that video I like adjusted the chicken animation, the Poultrygeist one, to exaggerate the head movement a little bit more, which was cool. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I posted on Instagram some. I was at Max doing like demos with it, and I did a few animations for like demos for people who came to the Fresco booth, and I tried to use it quite a bit because they were, that was the new feature, so I wanted to promote it. But yeah, it's crazy how you can get really natural movements with it. It just works so well. All right, this is pretty cool. Let's tighten this up. It's very crooked right now. Let's see if we can fix that. I think what I'm gonna do is, to fix the crookedness, I'm just gonna make like a rectangle that's roughly the size, and then put it on another layer to fill, and then just use it as a guide as I'm drawing. So I'll come down here and just make like a pink shape. Then we can bring that down. And then the opacity. Let's use the ruler. Did I turn off my snapping? What in the heck? I must have accidentally turned it off. Rotation snapping, there we go. I forgot one line. This is vector trimming city day, apparently. Didn't draw those lines to cross through enough. Ah! Rodrigo Corman, you said, have you done anything related to illustration or graphic design for a family member? Usually that's for free. If yes, how do you feel about doing it? I have, and I hate it. Because I don't like charging them or like coming up with things. Like for a family, it's one thing, I guess. But like with friends, I just hate like coming up with pricing and like, I don't know. Then I end up just being like, fine. If they ask enough, I'll just be like, I end up just doing it for free or something, just because like I can't deal with the trying to price it, and it's just like I don't know. It's a real struggle for me. All right, let's turn on symmetry to fix this, to get this X. I think we could actually do the triplicate. No, the quadruple. Is that centered? Okay. I knew that was going to happen. You can't use the trimming on a single line, and because it was done across symmetry, it thinks it's one line. But that's okay. I think I want to fill it in, but then I wanted to I need to beef up the other letters. I wonder if I can actually I'm gonna cut this, paste it on its own layer, and then duplicate this, and let's see if we can like it's getting better. Cool. This is totally different than ones that I've done in the past, but I like it. I think I just want to do one quick adjustment here. I'm gonna take like this. Part of the S is just a little too wide. I'm just gonna like scooch it in. Yeah. Oh, it's not. Hold on. You guys. Stop yelling at me. It's wrong. I'm fixing it. I'm panicking and I'm grabbing the wrong tools because I know what's happening here. Okay. S-H-O-R-T. And then let's just... Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, if I looked up at the thing, I had a note from Matt to fix it. Boy, howdy. All right, let me just select this X and then just cut it out so we have a cleaner file. Delete. Woo! Delete layer. Okay. Shabby Dabby Doo. That is a crazy name. Can't believe your parents named you that. That is wild. Rob Russell, you said, as you get older, I pushed into realism to the point that I stopped drawing for a lot of years because it wasn't fun anymore. When I found your videos, it showed me how fun drawing could be again, and that's what started me back at it. Now I have a sign shop where all I do is design stuff and draw all day. That's amazing. Yeah, for me, realism never even like resonated. It just felt like, I don't know, it felt like a trick more than like making something. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm gonna make it look exactly like that and you won't be able to tell the difference. And for me, it's like I want to draw stuff that I don't see. You know what I mean? Like I want to make something different or new or weird. I also don't have the patience for realism. Last time I did realism is when I had to in art school. Okay. What are we gonna do here? This is long. I feel like it's such a silly name that the letters should be kind of silly and kind of playful. Maybe they can start to get small so they can fit together or something. Shabby. Whoop. Maybe we'll like reverse the size thing for Dabby? I don't know. We'll see. And then maybe something like that. Let's see if we can refine this shape a little bit. Maybe I can use the liquefy to just sort of push it around a little bit. Get a more interesting. Let's see if we can use that to make it more fun. Okay, so one of the problem areas was this, like, the Y was gone. So maybe if that comes in like that, and then this B. Matt Crane, you said, would you ever do a video of you trying to draw in different styles? Maybe. I mean, I've done some videos where I like try to mash up styles, but I did it a little bit with the like Garbage Pail Kid things where I drew the X-Men as Garbage Pail Kids and I drew them in like the Garbage Pail Kid style. I did like the Wolverine and Ren and Stimpy style, but Ren and Stimpy style is basically such a strong influence on me that it's hard to call that a different style, I guess. Shabby Dabby Do. Okay, I like this. Let's tighten it up. One of my lights just went out. That's what I was looking up at. Let's see. I want to just use a regular classic inker for my Rich Pico set. Definitely need to be skipping around so that I don't inadvertently have it like lose too much towards the end in terms of like things getting smoothed out from wrapping over and over again onto other things. I don't know if that's coherent at all. But if you're doing stuff that's like the next letter is drawn based on the space left over from the other one, then you just like keep moving from left to right. By the time you get to the right, it doesn't really have anything left because you've sort of like taken out the wiggles a little bit each time. This is also a good example of what I was talking about before with letter forms could get distorted, like hard to read, like the D and the O. When I'm doing the O's, I try to just be symmetrical on both sides. Like even if they're getting distorted a lot, like even if it's like on an angle, having it come in the same on both sides will have it reading like an O. Whereas if you did it on one side and then didn't do it on the other side, it would start to read more like a D or a B or something like that. Teamy 4D, do you struggle with procrastination? Absolutely, 100%. It's very hard for me to not wait until the last minute unless it's something that I want to do. And then I also think it's going to take way less time than it does. I constantly underestimate how long things take. But if it wasn't for deadlines, I would procrastinate everything. So when in the past with like personal work, I always had to like give myself deadlines and had to somehow get myself to really believe them. I think that's why I committed so hard to the daily drawing challenge, because I was able to like really fully believe that it was very important. And the longer I did it, the easier it got to believe that it was very important. All right, shabby dabby do. I hope you like it. Unfortunately, I have to call it. It's been an hour and a half, and I gotta catch up on some stuff. I'm still behind from being away for so long, but I'll be back again next Friday. No more Fridays off for a while, and I hope you're all well. Thank you so much. No soul, no problem. You said big takeaways from your travel. Not necessarily. It was a lot of fun, a lot of inspiration. I would say Adobe Max. I'm sure you've heard some stuff. Adobe as a whole had a ton of wild AI stuff, which I'm not into. I don't love that. But I think it's important to remember that Adobe is such a massive company. And because they're so big, they're like kind of being forced in that direction. They have to do it. But that doesn't mean everything is full of that. For example, the Fresco team is very separate from any of that AI stuff, and there's no AI in Fresco, and they want to keep it that way. And because it's such a small kind of ignored part of Adobe as a whole, there's not a real reason for them to do it. It's like a very niche thing, and it's like a very dedicated team that's devoted to making great drawing app and software for people like us who make things. And it's not something it's an app for creatives who make stuff and who draw and create things and don't want to use AI. Whereas all the other bigger software has a much broader user base, and that AI stuff is where they're trying to attract a new audience. But Fresco doesn't have that issue. So I don't know. I think it's just important to remember that like saying or like being mad at Adobe about AI, it's like I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like I don't know how to describe it to you right now. But it's like all these different things, and they're very separate. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Check out my video on Tuesday where I show you how I made a 30-foot mural for Lightbox. Okay, thank you. You're all the best. I'll see you soon.